Welcome to the Explainer. Dealing with flood damage is just overwhelming. There's no other word for it. Today, we're going to cut through the confusion and give you a really clear step-by-step guide to filing an insurance claim, so you can focus on what actually matters, getting back on your feet. And this quote right here, it just hits the nail on the head. It is an incredibly stressful time. But, and this is so important, knowing the right steps to take can give you a real sense of control when everything else feels completely out of your hands. Okay, so let's get right into it. The floodwaters have receded. What do? Well, the moments right after a flood are absolutely critical. Your first moves can literally make or break your claim, so let's walk through exactly what you need to do. I want you to burn these 3 phrases into your brain. Act quickly, document everything, follow the process. This is your foundation. This is how you avoid those frustrating delays and give your claim the absolute best chance of success. Now, let's talk about what is, without a doubt, the most important part of this whole thing: building your case. This is all about creating a powerful, undeniable record with solid visual evidence. This is where you really take charge. So, what does that look like? Think of yourself as a detective at a crime scene. You need to capture everything. Get wide shots to show the big picture, but then get right up close for the details. And don't just focus on the obvious stuff like ruined furniture. Look for things like subtle cracks in the foundation. Those are easy to miss, but so important for your claim. And here's how you organize all that evidence. Don't just snap a bunch of random photos. Be systematic. Take pictures from every angle. And that inventory list, that is your secret weapon. Listing every single damaged item with what you think it was worth, that's the document the adjuster will lean on to figure out your loss. It's your proof. Avoiding mistakes is just as important as doing the right things. A huge one is waiting too long. A lot of policies have really strict deadlines. But that last one, knowing your policy, that's crucial. You have to know what's covered and, just as importantly, what's not covered before you even start. Are the contents of your basement included? Things like that. All right, so your evidence folder is packed, it's organized, it's looking solid. Now it's time to make it official and actually engage with your insurance company. Let's walk through what that process looks like. You're going to hear this term a lot: the adjuster. This person plays a huge role in how your claim turns out. So let's be super clear on who they are and what they actually do. Okay, so here's the key part of that definition: based on the evidence you provide. You see, the adjuster's evaluation isn't just their opinion. It is almost entirely based on the information and the proof that you give them. This is why all that prep work we just talked about is so non-negotiable. So when the adjuster shows up, you need to be their guide. Don't just hand them a stack of papers. You walk them through the house. You show them the damage. You point out the water line on the wall. You show them the specific items you documented. This isn't about being difficult. It's about being a clear, helpful partner, so they can see the true scope of your loss. Filing the claim, that's not the end of it. Not by a long shot. In a way, it's just the start of the waiting game. So let's talk about what to expect next and how you can stay on top of the process without losing your mind. This timeline gives you a pretty good bird's eye view. Notice all the steps that happen after the adjuster leaves your house. Your claim goes from submission to inspection, then to an internal evaluation at the insurance company, all before they even make a decision and hopefully issue a payout. So how do you keep things moving along? You have to be proactive. Getting a complete, accurate file in their hands right from the start, and then following up, politely but regularly, are the 2 best things you can do to avoid getting stuck in limbo. Okay, let's talk about the big fear, right? What happens if you do everything by the book and they still deny your claim, or the offer they make is just way too low? It can feel like a punch to the gut, but it's so important to know that you still have options. An initial decision is not always the final word. You have the right to appeal. And this is another reason why your detailed documentation is your best friend. It gives you the ammo you need to challenge a decision and really advocate for what's fair. All right, let's quickly run through a couple of the most frequently asked questions, starting with the one that's all about the ticking clock. The answer here could not be more clear. Do not wait. File your claim as soon as it is safely possible. These insurance policies are legal contracts, and almost all of them have strict deadlines. If you miss that window, you could jeopardize your entire claim. Here's another really practical question. What if you've got, say, a hole in your wall, and the adjuster can't get there for a week?
Can you do anything about it in the meantime to stop things from getting worse?
The answer is yes. You absolutely can and you should make temporary repairs to prevent further damage. The key, though, is that you have to meticulously document the before state with tons of photos, and then you have to save every single receipt. Those costs can often be added to your claim. So let's just boil it all down. A successful claim really isn't about luck, it's about strategy. Be fast and be thorough with your documents. Know the rules of your own policy. Work with the adjuster. Stay organized. And remember, you can always appeal. This is the approach that leads to a much better and fairer outcome. And that leaves us with one last really crucial thought. You now have the playbook for what to do after a flood. But true preparation, that starts long before the water ever rises. The best thing you can do to get ready for the next storm starts today.